winning Motor Trend Truck of the Year 3 times in a row, that had never been done before. Then again, neither had a 12-inch touchscreen or 1,000 pound-feet of torque. Never been done before. It's just kind of our thing.
Welcome inside the postgame show. It's Flames TV Live, the postgame show brought to you by Ram Truck, the winner of Motor Trend Truck of the Year for the third year in a row. Brendan Parker alongside Tim Hunter as we break down a Calgary Flames victory here tonight, 5-2 on home ice. And we've talked right off the top of the show about a long and busy road schedule, 7 games, and you come back home and now you get a test in the Chicago Blackhawks. And Tim, maybe just first of all, gets your kind of thoughts on this first game back for the Calgary Flames. Always a tricky one for a team coming off a long road trip.
Well, it was looking good in the first period, and I think they lost their way a little bit in the second after that unfortunate bounce that led to the second goal for Chicago, and they stuck with it. They stayed together as a team and did the right things systematically, and the line of Lucic, Lewis, and Richardson, they led the way. They played solid all game long, did the right things, and they were rewarded at the end of the game being out there with the goalie out.
And helped protect the victory and end up getting an empty net goal there as well from Trevor Lewis, which we'll talk a little bit about here as the postgame show rolls along. But first, maybe let's just go through the highlights here tonight and what leads to the 5-2 victory for the Calgary Flames as we circle all the way back to the first period and the Calgary Flames open the scoring. And it's Dylan Dubé who comes in off the rush and ends up beating Marc-Andre Fleury on the far side. You kind of broke this one down about the speed coming into the zone from Dubé.
Yeah, he's gains his zone with possession. He's ready. He's got a good look at the net, and he takes a good shot. I think Fleury was a little bit past his post, and it found its way in.
So that at that point is 1-0. Dubé scores his second of the season, and then the Chicago Blackhawks get an answer, and it comes courtesy Brandon Hagel here, who finds a similar spot in the slot as one we'll see upcoming, but he finds a quiet area, scores his 5th.
Yeah, nice little quiet area there, and that's what your coaches always talk about. Find that gray area, the area where the checkers aren't. You see a big hole, and he just slides into it, and quick release, and fools Markstrom.
Nice shot there, and that's 5 on the year for Hagel. Actually 6 on the year for him. It was 1-1 at that point, but before the end of the first period, this is where that good work started for that line of Lucic, Lewis, and Richardson, and it's Milan Lucic who finishes it off and rewarded with a nice shot here.
Well, great doggedness on the puck, Richardson and Lewis in the forecheck and using their sticks, and Milan being in that gray area and the quick release. And I talked about the Chicago defenseman going down to block and giving them time to get the release off.
And so the Flames end up making it 2-1, and then here's the miscue you talked about in the second period that ends up tying the game, and it is a first National Hockey League goal there from Reese Johnson, who gets rewarded there, tying it up at 2. Find the puck there.
Yeah, both Reese Johnson and Brandon Hagel, former Western Hockey League players, just up the highway in Red Deer and teammates. So nice to see young guys get goals. I wish it wasn't against the Flames tonight.
Yeah, fair enough. And here in the third period, we talk about some of the work, some of the effort, and it finally pays off. Late in that period, Matthew Tkachuk banks it off the skate. I believe it was the skate of Seth Jones, and ends up going into the back of the net. And at that point, 3-2, and here's the 2 empty netters as we finish it off with the net empty for Chicago. This one is Trevor Lewis's second game here with an empty net goal in the last 3. So protected nicely there by Lucic, and then one last one here to finish it off into the empty net, and it's the top line out in the final seconds. Nice work there by Elias Lindholm. And some good work down a man here, as you kind of talked about, with the extra attack road for Chicago. Flames able to seal it off.
Yeah, and I really like the play Lucic does, and that's a sign of a great teammate and a great locker room, that guys do that for each other. It's good to watch. Yeah,
outstanding stuff there, and ends up not getting a point at all on the play. So he could have had maybe an easy little tap in there, but instead he gives it, make sure that Lewis gets his second of the year. Let's hear what the head coach has to say. Daryl Sutter at the podium now. Let's hear his thoughts.
You talked a lot about fatigue here lately. How do you think your team held up tonight as it went on?
There wasn't much left there, was there? You could see it right from the start. You know, there's been games where you're we've been physically there and not quite sharp mentally, but I think tonight there wasn't much, right? But there was it's like we talked about. These are the ones where you just gotta know how to win, well, pretty obvious. I mean, the bottom line is they are tired. It's 9 and we're still we're gone the whole time in Eastern time zone. You get home in the middle of the night and then have to play this game. Like, it's almost not fair. But give players credit. I said that before.
Give the next 3 days off.
No, tomorrow off, and then what's tomorrow? Wednesday? Yeah, Thursday we'll practice, and then Saturday's a late game again, so we can be careful Friday.
Given all the wear and tear on your team, was it beneficial for you guys for bench management that there's so few penalties in this game?
Well, they don't take many penalties, and it's something that we've, usually when you get like that, when you're played out, that's when there is, those hooking, holding penalties, and we stayed away from it. It was just the one cross check on Sean. So it's a good thing. It takes, the penalty kills hard on guys too, because we use a lot of top players on it.
Gerald, both their goals came on pretty big giveaways. Is that a sign of maybe fatigue or them just kind of losing focus a little, or?
No, the second goal was, Mark, that's not in the playbook. Like, our goalies don't pass to centermen.
Yeah.
Our goalies give it to defensemen. So, he probably looked up and seen he had time, and he knew he made a mistake.
After that, though, Markstrom, for a guy who wasn't peppered, a lot of pretty important saves in that second period.
And they're a line rush, odd man rush team the way they play, so that's going to be there. And when you're not, you don't have your whole game together. There's some of that's coming. So he still had to make. There's some good saves.
Gerald, in the empty net goal Lewis scored, I think everyone in the building thought Luch was just going to smack it in. But is that almost symbolic, how he wanted to leave it for Lewis to get credit for it? Is symbolic of the selflessness?
Yep, I think that those, that's a really good line for us. They check and they score and they play the right way, and they thrive on winning. And I think that's why their play, that experience is shining through with guys like that, because they know what it takes to win, and it doesn't bother them who scores or who doesn't. It's about winning.
And that goes along with as a player, when a guy wants to make sure Lewis gets credit for it instead of Lucic, the guys all know, and that goes over big in the room.
Darn right. And it's Lucic actually, whoever the defenseman was, I think he kind of made sure the defenseman didn't touch it, so the puck went in. So when you say, that's exactly what it is. It's it just tells you about those guys that won championships, so too.
And you think that's symbolic of your whole team?
I think it's still filtering through our team for sure. I think you can see tonight our experience from them older guys is really important, and that it probably allows Lindy's line to persevere in the end too. Like Matthew scores the goal, and it was there were some plays there tonight that we were just trying to stick with it, and they did stick with it, where maybe in the past or other times they wouldn't. So it tells you that they're learning about it too.
All right, there's some thoughts from the head coach, Daryl Sutter. Anything stand out? I mean, there was a few interesting things in there, but I guess the theme of that right from the start was kind of about the fatigue. You kind of saw that, right, or he at least, acknowledged that right from the start. But the guys found a way to battle through that tonight.
Yeah, but if you don't do your work beforehand, you don't put yourself in a position to succeed, and that's being a fit team and a hard-working team, and using 4 lines and 6 defensemen, and using your guys that don't play a lot, moving guys in and out of the lineup, so they put themselves in a position to take advantage of those opportunities as they come along, whether a team's tired themselves on a road trip themselves or have COVID issues, whatever it may be. You aren't going to win those games unless you put yourself in a position to do that. And the Flames have done that the way they trained, and the way that fitness is very important, and also the way the coaches manage the bench, manage the D, manage the forwards. And prime example is having that group out with the goalie out, your so-called fourth line. I don't think they're really that, because there's so much experience on that line. They've contributed 2 goals tonight. So balanced scoring, big effort, and not a pretty game.
What did you see that you got from that line here tonight? Obviously, there's the points, the obvious, they get the 2 goals, but what do you get from that experience? What did you get from that group here tonight?
Well, when you're a coach, you love those guys because they're maintenance-free hockey players. They just go over the bench and they do everything right every time. And you see that in a game, you're going, okay, just send that example over and it'll filter through the other guys. I don't even have to say anything as a coach. Just let those guys play, and they do everything right. They're connected together as a group. They back check. They don't give up odd man rushes. They get the puck in and out at the right times. They still have time to make plays and know when to do that and when not to do that. And that's a great example of a group that you want everyone to emulate.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Milan Lucic, because we'll show the goal here that sets it up. But, I think you were right away. You loved the play at the end at the empty netter, and you mentioned that. I know Daryl talked about it as well. But, another one of those veteran guys in Milan Lucic who plays a big role here tonight and, finished it off with that play with the empty netter. But, just to kind of continue that theme about this line and what you like so much about this play here in the empty netter.
Well, this goal is Luch is just having time, but they're connected. They're around the puck. They're hunting the puck down, and he sees Lewis dump it towards the net, and then he chases it down to make sure that D can't get a stick on it, and he lifts his stick. And that's a great example of a tight team, guys that like each other, guys that play for each other, and those guys are all experienced, so they don't care who scores, but they want to make sure they contribute.
Yeah, absolutely, and that was a big part of it here tonight. And Milan Lucic obviously gets the goal, and it's an unofficial assist because he doesn't get the official one, but he helped make sure that puck got in the net, as Tim just laid out there. Let's hear from Milan Lucic and Matthew Tkachuk now at the podium.
Fascinated with the empty net goal. Was your intention to knock it in the empty net, or all along are you just hoping you can make sure that it's Trevor's goal?
I was kind of a bit of a curler on that one, sweeper or whatever, just to make sure it was going in. I knew one of their guys was coming back, but yeah, it's just I saw it was going in, just wanted to make sure it was going in, and I just wanted to make sure it went in for him. He told me that I should have put it in, but it was going in for him. So it was a big goal. Obviously, those 5-on-6 situations, not letting the Hawks set up in our zone and kind of breaking them down and getting that empty netter was big for us tonight.
Matthew, can you talk a little bit about the role that line played tonight?
Yeah, they were great. Big goal for us in the first when it was 1-1, and they were having some momentum from their tying goal, and they got it pretty shortly after. I feel like they made it. I feel like it was pretty short after, but got us momentum back right away when we needed it. And then just throughout the night played very solid for us, and put it away for us, which is, I think people don't realize how big those goals are. And when we have a chance to put a team away when their goalies put it in, and they did. So I know past couple of years, it seems like we never get those and keep teams in it till the very end. Stresses us out a little bit, but today they did a great job of ending it for us too.
Matthew, just overall on your line there, just in here talking about how maybe it was a night that things weren't bouncing necessarily your way all night. Just talk about your line, and I guess leading to your goal, how you kind of just stuck with it.
Yeah, you said it right there. Just try to stay with it. I don't know if we had our best stuff tonight necessarily with creating, and they did a solid job against us. Had some chances, but it was mainly one and dones, and they were smart with the puck. Lines we played against, and hemmed us in our zone a few times, and that one line got one on us in the second too. So we wanted to get one back there.
Well, I think it's 9 games in 15 days, 20 and 39. Does it feel like it at this point?
Yeah, definitely. I think I speak for everyone, especially that flight home Sunday after the Boston game. I don't think anyone was in bed until 3:34 in the morning. So it was probably the toughest stretch of our schedule, playing 9 games in 15 days, starting in Calgary, ending in Calgary, so it just felt like one big, long road trip. But I think we did a good job of managing our energy, managing our rest, being fresh in all 9 games. You look at all 9 games, we were in all of them, which is a great feeling as a team, and to get 5 wins and 12 points out of all that. It's a good sign for the team.
Players like to play games, but how nice is it going to be to have a couple of days of practice before you have to get back out there for one?
Yeah, well, I think it's not sure what we have planned, but definitely a practice sprinkled in there with 3 days off, and just excited to watch football on Thursday. That's kind of where my mind's at right now. Don't need to take a little mental break after all this for a couple of days, and everybody will do the exact same. And once Friday hits, we'll focus our attention on Saturday's game. So I think these 3 days, we haven't had this since we started late. I think I don't even know anymore. So we're excited to have this big day for us Americans on Thursday. So enjoy that and just come back ready to go for Saturday.
You're gonna seek out some turkey.
Yes, absolutely. Yep, that, some pumpkin pie and some football. Pretty much it. Maybe a glass of wine in there as well.
Oh, yeah.
Is finding a way to win when you don't have your A game maybe something this team has been kind of guilty of not doing in previous seasons? Is that something that was kind of a positive out of this game tonight?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, just looking back to last year, I think that we would have maybe been tied 2-2 late in the third and probably given one up the way last year went. It seemed like we gave up leads, or we gave up points like that all the time last year. So this year to be on the other side so far, and I mean, even we haven't really been on that side so far. We had a couple games last homestand where we gave away points and didn't get the extra one in OT. So I think tonight, first game back for this 3-game homestand, it's nice to really grind this one out when we definitely were battling kind of all over both countries the last few weeks, and like we said, getting in really late the other night, and I think we were looking at these 3 days coming up, or in the first 20 games is like one big part of the year, and I think we're pretty happy with where we're at after these first 20 games.
On that same note, Matthew, I know in the preseason and the training camp, you were one of the ones that, you've been here for a while. You talked about never really having a strong start. I know for a lot of people, American Thanksgiving, if you're in a playoff spot, it's a good indication of maybe how the rest of the year goes. Just looking back on those 20 games, how do you sum it up? Yeah,
we're in a good spot right now, top of the division, but since I've been here, we haven't had a good start, and then followed that up with a good stretch till Christmas, so hopefully we can do that now.
Okay, thanks very much, guys.
Thanks, guys.
We call it the Ram 1500 Limited. But truth be told, there's nothing limited about it. Ram 1500, winner, J.D. Power Award for Best Driver Appeal.
Welcome back to Flames Postgame Live, brought to you by Ram Truck, winner of Motor Trend Truck of the Year for the 3rd year in a row. Brendan Parker and Tim Hunter putting the final thoughts here on a 5-2 Calgary Flames victory over the Chicago Blackhawks. And I guess maybe all the things we've heard here tonight, this is one that you knew it was going to be tough. And hearing from the guys, they'll be looking forward to a few down days here without games. But what does it do for a group? You reach the 20-game mark here tonight. To find a way to win a hockey game like this, to really cap off what's been a busy stretch of games for these guys.
Well, they talked about last year how they couldn't find ways to win games. They found ways to lose games and lose points, and it cost them in the end. And they were getting that confidence as a team that they can win these games and get more points and hang in there. And now they get a bit of a rest here, have a little bit of fun, and then refocus again and start Saturday and start another 20 games, and off they go.
Yeah, reset that mind. It really does kind of speak to the marathon that is it. NHL regular season, doesn't it? When you start breaking it up in those 20-game segments, and you realize, how tough it is, when you go through an entire, regular full schedule here.
Well, the big kicker in all this is they're going to have a All-Star game and Olympic break in a season like this. So everything's compressed. So those 20 games are coming a lot quicker than they normally do. So I guarantee you that's being preached in the locker room is rest, recovery, nutrition, and smart management with practice times. I watched Darryl this morning with his pregame skate, 15 minutes exactly. He was giving the assistant coaches a hard time about, hey, get ready, 15 minutes is coming. We're going to end this, so better end your drill. Because when you're an assistant coach, you want to do some drills. You want to have some time to coach the players. But the games aren't 1 in the morning, so get your work done, 15 minutes, and get them off.
I love that. The games aren't 1 in the morning, and it was right on the nose, right? 15 minutes. It was 11.
I watched him that one drill. He wanted him to switch to sides because he knew he only had like 3 minutes left, and that was it. That's the end of your rep, and get off, boys. Because that energy you waste in the morning, you never get back.
You never get back. 10:45, whistle was done, meeting was in, and off we went. So, yeah, it was good. Fun to watch this morning. Great to have you back, by the way. American Thanksgiving, we heard Matthew talk about it briefly. So, what, I'm full Canadian on this side. So now, but you've spent some time in both. Are you gonna double Thanksgiving for you?
No, we're not gonna do that. No. Turkey at Christmas is about it. I'm not a real big turkey guy. We usually do turkey and a prime rib. So
there you go.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, well, thanks for the time for tonight, and it was fun having you back on the desk, and we'll get you on again here for this, not maybe this homestand, but the next one here coming up in December before you head out.
It was nice to watch a win and be part of a win here, so I was happy for them.
Good stuff. Tim Hunter joining us on Flames Postgame Live, brought to you by Ram Truck, and that'll do it for us as we sign off for another home game here. In fact, the start of a 3-game homestand starts successfully for the Calgary Flames tonight. 5-2 winners over the visiting Chicago Blackhawks. Couple empty netters in there. The game winner from Matthew Tkachuk. As for what's up next, well, a couple of down days. That's the Flames get to enjoy now. They don't play again until Saturday night against the Winnipeg Jets. Hockey night in Canada, game 2 of this 3-game homestand. Thanks for watching Flames Postgame Live. We'll see you on Saturday.